Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. It's Carissa Wiley here for Pinkfresh Studio and I am super thrilled to be here. This is gonna be my last live stream for 2025 and it just feels like I'm ready to create. I took last week off and I've just been kind of hanging out with family, doing the holiday thing. You might still be a little bit in that holidays where it's like you're in the days of the holidays still, but I am feeling so ready to create and hopefully you are too. If you're not, you can just sit back, relax, watch, enjoy the show. Chat along with me in the comments and we're gonna create something really fun. We're gonna do a mix it up today. We're using some older Pinkfresh Studio products and I think you're gonna love the way this card comes together. I have a different color palette than you're probably used to seeing me use. So stick around for all that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But first, if you have not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you are subscribed here to the Pinkfresh Studio YouTube channel. That will make sure that you don't miss anything. But in order to get those notifications, you want to hit that bell icon as well. That will notify you anytime that we go live, anytime we post a video and post here on YouTube, and that will keep you up to date. Also, make sure you're signed up for the Pinkfresh Studio newsletter over at the Pinkfresh Studio site so you can get all of the pertinent information. It's gonna be so important that you stay tuned in the new year because there are so many fun and exciting things happening. Maggie's here. I saw Margie here and I see all of you chatting along in the comments, and that is perfect because that is one of the ways that you are entered to win one of two $50 Pinkfresh Studio digital gift card codes in today's live stream. So if you're here and you're chatting along, we're going to pick two random commenters from the live chat today to win two Pinkfresh Studio $50 digital gift card codes. And if you're watching on the replay, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you. We have two $50 digital gift card codes for you as well. You're gonna go to the comments section and leave us a comment and we will pick a winner in about a week for that. Now, other ways that you can win while we're live today is take and share this live stream in a text message, email, on a Facebook group that allows it. Come back here, let us know that you have shared it and that will count as another entry. Now, this doesn't count for an entry, but we love for you to give us a thumbs up. So if you have not already hit that thumbs up icon, whether you're watching live or on the replay, we would love for you to do that. Now, let's get into creating, shall we? Because that's why we're all here. I love that you guys are already chatting along. Kinnery is behind the Pinkfresh Studio badge today, and I love it when she's here. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me a little nervous when Kinnery's behind the badge. Not because she's mean, but because, you know, I want to do all of the beautiful things that Kinnery puts out into the world justice. And so that's why I get a little nervous. Today, I am going to be using products from the weekly promo. There's 25% off select products over at Pinkfresh Studio right now. Kinnery's already popped that link into the live chat. And then they're linked in the YouTube description below. So I'm going to feature some of those products from the weekly promo today. These prices are good through January 1st, 2026. I can't even believe I'm saying that, at 11:59 p.m. So you can pick up these products. Even if you're watching on the replay, you have a little bit of time to go over and grab these products at a discount. So let's get down to the desktop. Today, I am going to be working with, I'm going to feature this framed art. Now, if you don't know this about me, I love oranges. I love citrus things because I grew up and I live in an area where citrus is a huge part of our economy and the agriculture that we produce here. My family were citrus farmers, and so I love these little oranges. Now, this is kind of a cool set because we're using the oranges today, but there's also like these art frames that you can kind of frame up these arts on. There are coordinating dies for this set as well. And then there is a stencil set that fills in the individual like floral and orange images, but it also gives you kind of some abstract things that you can work with. So this is a fun oldie but goodie. I've searched in my stash for some of these products that are a little bit older. I'm also going to use Always Smiling. Now, Kathleen used this in last week's live stream. I'm going to just be using some sentiments from this because I wanted a die cut sentiment and I didn't have die cuts or dies for these sentiments. And so I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the Always Smiling set. I'm actually going to do a little hot foiling with it today if we have time. Otherwise, I have it pre-hot foiled just in case. I'll also be using the Elongated Lattice Coverplate die. Love this. A fun geometric twist onto kind of these more traditional elements that we're bringing in. I'm also going to use the Embroidery Hoops die set. This is a fun essentials die set. And at the last minute, I came in and I updated the YouTube video description with the basket weave cover plate die. This is going to give us that textile look on the background of our embroidery hoop. So now that we've talked through it, let's get going. Today's color palette is going to feature oranges and blues. Now, this is not something that I do very often, but I thought it would be a beautiful kind of grease-inspired color palette. By the way, speaking of grease, if you have not signed up for the 2026 February event, Create and Connect Creative Compass over at Pinkfresh Studio, make sure you do that, because if this color palette speaks to you, some of the products in there may speak to you as well. And so I don't want you to miss that event. We have so much fun. And there are so many fantastic and talented instructors at this event. I am not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying I'm teaching there as well. So we're going to have a great time together. I'm going to start out with the little orange image here. And I'm going to stamp it a couple of times on some white cardstock. I am using a Misty stamping tool so that if I don't stamp it perfectly the first time, I can restamp. But I need a couple of these images. And I'm stamping in Rocky Slope to give it kind of a more muted outline. I want an outline there, but I don't want it to be black because it doesn't feel like it kind of goes well with the color palette I'm using. I want something a little bit softer. So Misty Coast, Rocky Slope, all of those are in a great gray family that you can use to stamp some outline stamps and kind of get that softer outline feel. I see Kinnery has popped the link for that Create and Connect event in the live chat. So make sure that you reserve your spot. There are a limited number of spots for these events, and so you don't want to miss out on getting your spot for that. Now, I'm trying to decide what order I want to go in, and maybe I just want to do all of my stamping at once. So in this, I have to remember what it's called, framed art stamp set, there's also this floral pattern. And I am going to create kind of a background for our oranges to sit on with that blue color palette. So I'm going to do this with a block. I know that this is so brave, but I actually enjoy stamping with a block every now and then. And I'm going to kind of twist and turn this image in order to create a pattern. And then we're going to die cut it using that embroidery hoop and use it in the center behind these oranges. So go with me here on a little journey. We're going to use Seaside ink. Now, I'm not even sure I've ever used Seaside ink, but when I stamped it out this morning, I was kind of just testing a couple things. I didn't make the card, but I just tested a couple things to make sure that I liked it, and I did. So I'm gonna start by stamping this kind of in the center of an A2 size panel. Look at that blue. If that is not like the China pattern blue, I don't know what is. So I am going to re-ink the stamp, and what I'm going to do is I am going to pivot the stamp, kind of turn it, and stamp it again. I'm just looking through the stamp and getting it generally close to where that is. And then I am going to come down and rotate the stamp again. I'm just building a pattern here. I'm thinking, do I want to go this way? Yeah, let's go this way. kind of stamping in there. Now, it may not be perfect, but that's okay because we're going to do a lot to this panel. And so you don't need to worry about it being like super perfect. I'm going to re-ink, stamp again. And I'm going to do one more. This is probably more than I need, but we'll just play it safe. I'm going to ink again, kind of rotate and build that pattern out. So now I have this beautiful pattern that I've stamped, and I'm going to get the ink off of my work surface because we don't want to have blue ink everywhere. I'm going to wipe down my stamp and set it to the side. And now we have our stamping for our background done. Now we're gonna do a lot more with this background here in just a bit to really bring it to life, but I wanted to do all the stamping together. So let's move on to ink blending our oranges here, which I think are so adorable. I am going to use just a grip mat that I have in my stash. And I am going to use that to hold the stencils in place. Now the stencils are kind of a 4-quadrant system. So let me get oriented here. Let me find my numbers. So when you look at the stencils, you have stencil 1, stencil 2, stencil 3, and stencil 4. But there are 4 different images. So the bottom image is where you're going to find that little orange image. And it's going to be in that bottom right-hand corner of every single stencil. Now the other stencils create like some abstract things, or it has a fill-in for the other floral that's here on the stamp set there. So you have a lot of stencils, and I love these abstracts. I'm not using them today, but they're kind of fun for like some brush strokes in the background. So I'm gonna start by lining up my stencil with my stamped image. I'm just looking down through the stencil and getting it rotated just right. And we're going to work through these stencils, moving it from image to image. So we're gonna start with stencil number 1, and we're gonna do both oranges, and then we're gonna move to stencil 2, 3, etc. Got it? I forgot that I need a little bit of lemon whip, and I'm gonna use, let's see, I'm gonna use one of the teeny tiny blending brushes, and I'm gonna do just a little bit of lemon whip towards the center of that bud at the top. A very light, fresh pear would be nice there too, because if you've ever been around oranges, the blossoms actually they're very white, and they have like a little bit of green that comes in from the center. Seaside ink. Did I say that right? Did I say it wrong earlier, or we were just clarifying for someone who asked what color that was? Because it's not a color I have really used before. Okay, for the body of the orange, like the main portion, I need to clean off this blending brush here. It's got a lot of dark orange on it, and so I'm just making sure I get a lot of that rubbed off so that when I come into my peach fuzz, I'm not getting a ton of that dark orange. And we're gonna get a little bit of blend of that peach fuzz there, right over those images. We're not going anything super crazy because we'll add some shading. Actually, yeah, we'll add some shading here in just a bit with stencil number 4. Okay, I don't need to put this up. I need to move this over. Lemon Whip. Anyone just love not only the color, but the name? It is a fun name, isn't it? So we'll work on image 2, and we're just going to move this over. These are small images, so they don't take much time. And again, do a little Lemon Whip in the center of that with the 1/4 inch blending brush, and bring in the Peach Fuzz. One of my favorite oranges in the Pinkfresh family is this Peach Fuzz, and it looks so amazing with Coral Reef. And I thought originally I might bring some Coral Reef into this color palette, but when I saw the orange and the blue together, I was just like, no, that's it. Scented inks. Ooh, I like that. Did you ever have those markers. What were they called? And they had the scented, like purple was grape and blue was blueberry. And there were like little people on them. And red was like cherry. Those were such fun markers. I remember having those when I was a kid. And wouldn't it be fun? That would be so much fun. A scented ink. Let's see. For this green portion, which is stencil number 2, we're going to move, or the greenery, we're going to move into Grassy Knoll. And I'll just grab a little 1/2-inch blending brush here. And we're going to go a little bit lighter. I wanted a true green on this, but I don't want it like, I don't want it electric. So we'll kind of blend that in. And then what we may do to kind of knock it back just a little bit with the electricity of it, for lack of a better word, is we're going to grab just a little bit of olive and come in and kind of add some contrast. You can even see I'm not bringing that ink all the way down to the tip of these. And I love that kind of light and dark combination on a blend. So once we get that done, that's stencil number 2. Oh, thank you, Margie. Mr. Sketch Markers. Yes, Annalise. You get the prize for remembering the name. Yes, Mr. Sketch Markers. They were so much fun. And I'm on board with the idea of having scented inks. That would be just a lot of fun. Okay, so we're moving the stencil over. We're doing our second image here with the oranges. Going in with Grassy Knoll first, adding a little olive towards the center, getting that two-tone kind of color situation going on. And I love to wipe up my stencil before I move it. It just helps keep my fingers from getting all inky. Okay, stencil 3 is going to be the detail portion of the greenery, and we're going to use olive again. So I'm just looking through this onto the stamped lines. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't like stress yourself out about it being perfectly over the lines. We're just adding a little bit of shading. And since our lines are kind of in that more muted rocky slope color, we don't have to worry too much about positioning, although it looks like I got it pretty spot on. Okay, let's do image 2. And judging by the time frame that we are at right now, I think I'm going to be able to do the foiling of our sentiment live today too. So that's fun. Although I forgot to get my foil, but you guys can hang out for 2 seconds while I run over there and grab my foil. Yeah. Love these colors. Wait until you see the orange and the blue together. It's going to be amazing. I'm telling you. Okay, stencil number 4 is the shadowing and the dimpling of the oranges. So I'm just going to position it there. Yikes, I moved it. And I'm going to use Apricot for this. Okay, so we'll go with a pretty heavy hand of Apricot to give it some differentiation. And we may go back to stencil number 1 and add a little bit of shading with the Apricot as well, so that there's kind of not so much differentiation between this detail layer and our first base layer. Might just kind of blend them together. And that won't take long at all. So let's do that. Now, another fun idea for this stencil number 4 would be to use the Calico White pigment ink on this layer and have those freckles and the dimpling and that be kind of a highlight rather than a shadow. And I think that would be a lot of fun. Okay, let's go back to stencil 1. Line this up. This is really just gonna mask off the outer areas so we can add a little bit of shading with that apricot. And we're gonna add it kind of right towards the base of these here. So just adding another color in there. And maybe going over the edge right here. This is going to push it a little more orangey rather than peachy. We can lift up our stencil and see if we want more. Do you see the difference between the two? And by using this 1/2-inch blending brush, I can really control where I'm putting that extra color down. So the 1/2-inch blending brushes are your friend when you're going into the detail section. Ooh, I like that. Okay. Let's move to the second group of oranges here. And I created a couple of cards with this set when it was first released and did an all over patterned background with these die cut oranges, and it was so much fun. I love it. It's on like a pink background. I think that's on my channel. So if you're looking for more orange inspiration, orange inspiration, you can find it over there. But I absolutely love these oranges. They're so cute. Okay, so that little bit of shading made me very happy. I'm just gonna tell you. Oh, they came to life. Am I right? Yeah, Kennery says, fragrance reacts with the ink formula, and allergic reaction for some customers makes it not wise to do a scented ink, which I totally get. Working in a hospital for so many years, you're not even allowed to wear fragrance just because everybody reacts differently to it. And so I totally agree that it's not like a feasible thing. It would be a fun thing, but it's not feasible for everyone. So totally get that. Okay, so we're done with our blending there. And I used to buy a embossing powder that had a scent, and I loved it. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's grab the coordinating. I'm going to turn on my foil, my hot foil, Glimmer hot foil system. And let's go ahead and die cut our images and our background. So I'm going to line this up, just looking down through it. It may be wise to use just a little bit of tape to hold it in place. I love these oranges. This color palette, by the way, is one of those color palettes where if you go a little bit deeper on your oranges and your blues, it is a great masculine color palette. I love orange and blue for a masculine card, maybe a little pop of green like we're doing here. Makes a great masculine color combination. So put it in your back pocket for the next time you need to create a masculine card. So I would go with like Clementine and Persimmon, and I would use Seaside and Storm for my two blues in the Pinkfresh family, and that would give me a little bit deeper on my blues, a little bit deeper on my oranges, and it would really create a great masculine color palette. I just ripped my cardstock, so that's okay because the layout I have in mind, if that little edge of my orange is ripped, if it shows, we'll be okay. We will be okay. So Mediterranean, I know, it is. It's very Santorini, which is one of the product names for our Create and Connect event. So, okay. So we have our two oranges die cut. And now let's put that away just so I don't lose it. Now we're going to take the Embroidery Hoops background, or Essentials dies. This creates two different sizes. So I'm using the smaller size. You can see the pins are there for both the larger and the smaller Embroidery Hoops set. And what I'm going to do is I am going to line this up on the background that we created. Do you see how even though my stamping may not be perfect, we're going to be just fine on our overall pattern here. I'm going to hold it in place, filling that inner circle because that's the part we're worried about. Both colors pop together. I know. Love the blue and orange. I'm so glad you guys are liking this. Okay, so we're gonna pop that center portion out, and that's gonna be the background inside our embroidery hoop. Now you can keep this portion here and use it for something else, or you can use it as a layering. Like if you wanna stack up your die cuts, you can use this as a layer to stack up behind other die cuts of the embroidery hoop. So that's totally something that you can use that for. And we still need to die cut, but before I do that, I am going to grab some summer shower ink. And I have a large 1-inch blending brush, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of blending over the top of all of this. So we're not getting that stark blue on white. Now the blue on white looks absolutely beautiful, but look how pretty that looks with that really soft blue background. I think it's a stunner. I love it. And it's going to help our oranges pop off that busier background because it's toning the pattern down just a little bit to help it feel like, okay, we can totally put these oranges there and they're gonna show up still. Isn't that gonna be fun? But wait, there's more. I'm gonna take this, and this is where I was kind of brainstorming before we went live, and I grabbed the basket weave cover plate here. This does not have an outer cutting edge, so it's really nice because you can do this directly on your card base. So it's not going to cut the outer edge. You can do this on a panel or a card base. But for me, I am going to add kind of a texture-like pattern on this circle using the basket weave. It's going to help it feel like the embroidery material that you would find inside an embroidery hoop, which I thought was a fun, like, little accent or addition to this entire thing. I'm so glad you guys are liking it. Okay, so maybe you can see it. That's kind of hard to see, but do you see that little kind of textural, almost fabric-like pattern to this circle now, which gives it kind of that embroidery material feel. So we're gonna have that. Oh, that is, just look at that pop right there. So pretty. Oh, when are the new inks coming out? About 6 to 7 months. So exciting because we're gonna have some cardstocks that match. Of course, you will be able to use your existing Pinkfresh Studio inks as well. So never fear. You can see these are already gorgeous inks. And I can't wait to see it. I don't know much about the new inks, so I can't wait to see what's coming from Pinkfresh Studio. So fresh, isn't it? Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and build up our embroidery hoop. So I went ahead and die cut some of these beforehand just because you guys don't wanna see me stack up. So what I have is I have 3 layers of white cardstock here that have been stacked up. And on top of that, I am going to add a craft layer, okay? To kind of give it that wood feel. But before I do that, I want to take the little pin. I'm going to zoom you guys in just a touch, okay? What is the difference between the cover plate and an embossing folder? So an embossing folder is a plastic folder that has a pattern that's kind of etched out of it. And when you put it through, it creates dimension. Sometimes it's varying dimension. A cover plate uses the blades of a die to create a pattern or a texture. So you're not going to get as much varied dimension, but you will get texture and pattern using a cover plate. So I hope that helps, and I hope that makes sense. As you use them more, you kind of understand them a little bit better. And I think sometimes it's just easier to use a cover plate because it is generally the same size as your A2 size card front, and you don't have to, sometimes with embossing folders, you have to figure out the sandwich that works with it, but you can just use your regular die cutting sandwich with a cover plate. Okay, so I have the little pin glued behind. I've die cut it from some silver cardstock. And I did it behind the top layer because I want it to sit above all of these other layers that I have stacked up behind. So I'm going to use some liquid glue and put it on the face of this stacked up set here. And I'm going to add the craft cardstock layer on top here. Just making sure I get it all lined up so that I have the brown on top with that little bit of dimension behind it. I'm just kind of moving this until I get it exactly where I want. Sneaks will start on the 1st of January. New year, new ideas, and a fresh take. I love it. Yeah, the January release is on my list of things to do this week. So, okay, so we'll have our embroidery hoop, and we have the little pin in there. We have our background, which we will nestle in there. And then we will use our oranges kind of along the side. So this is going to be like our focal area of our card here. Now, let's go ahead and zoom you guys out. Wow, we're doing great on time. I can't even, didn't even realize we'd be doing this great on time. So we're gonna do a little foiling for our sentiment. So I went ahead and turned on my Glimmer Hot Foil system all over to the side, and we are all hot and ready here. And we're gonna use the Always Smiling. Again, this is another one that is available in the weekly promo. And I'm gonna grab a couple of sentiments from the press plate set. Now, Kathleen used this last week, and so you can check out her live stream video featuring this gorgeous floral, and she used the terrarium die with this. It's so beautiful. If you have not checked out last week's live stream, go and do that. But I'm gonna use just a couple of sentiments. I have some white cardstock, and I'm gonna grab some silver foil, which I totally forgot to do before we started, but it's okay. I literally know where it's at. I think I do. Where did it go? Okay, it's right here. It's where it belongs. It was just hiding. So I have just some regular silver foil, and we are bringing this in to bring in another silver element like the pin on our embroidery hoop. So I'm just gonna cut a little sliver of this foil. And our platform is already ready. It's hot, it's heated up because this light is solid. So I'm gonna hit the timer button, and I'm gonna allow that to run through the timer. And while that timer is kind of doing its thing, I'm gonna grab my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine. I'm gonna get some of these cords out of your way too. Love the texture of the cover plate. Really imitates the look of Ida cloth. I didn't even know that's what it's called, but that was my goal. And so if you're seeing it and you know what Ida cloth is, then my my heart is happy, because that's exactly what I was going for. I'm not like a embroidery girl. I like to stitch things. I think it's fun, but I don't like cross embroidery. I don't do that. I used to do it with my grandma when I was little, but we had like the printed on pattern. Okay, timer's done. We're gonna release this from the base and take it over to the base of my Platinum 6. And then I'm gonna add the foil with the pretty side facing the pretty side of my press plates. I'm gonna use some smooth white cardstock on top of that. And then I have the thin shim and the spacer pad, which I'm going to add on top of my sandwich and run this through. Now I don't know what to do. I just start ordering these things. We've all done that. I promise you that if you ordered things, you'll find a use for them. Okay, so now we've run that through. That put the pressure on. And now we have beautifully foiled sentiments to kind of bring in that silver color that we already have on our embroidery hoop. Okay, let's get this guy out of the way because we are done with the foiling. We just wanted to have that little bit of metallic sentiment there. So let's grab the coordinating dies and die cut the sentiments. So I'm going to grab the 2 coordinating dies, die cut these sentiments out. So we'll line. Carissa makes me want to get crafty every time I watch her. Well, I hope that I inspire you. That is my goal. So I'm so glad that it makes you kind of itch to create, no matter like if it's the color palette or just seeing someone create something, whatever it is, stamp set that you're like, oh yeah, I have that. Whatever it may be, I'm so glad to know that you are inspired when you leave here, because that is one of my big goals, is that anytime that you come and see me, watch me create live, that you're inspired, that you feel a little joy, you have a good time, little light in your life. I hope it's a bright spot in your day. So thank you so much. All right, so we have our sentiments die cut. And now I'm gonna put these back. I hardly ever put things back, but these are kind of small and I feel like they would escape. Let's put these back too. These are the press plates. I put them on my glass work surface and they're already cool, so I can put them right back into the sleeve that they came from. And now we can work on the sentiment. Now, I was playing beforehand. Oh, Deborah Mackey, let me answer this question. Deborah Mackey says, is there a place to see where all the cards and projects made that we could see? I have some stuff, but I really don't know what to do. So if you go to the product page on the Pinkfresh Studio website, so say you have the Always Smiling stamp set. If you search Always Smiling on the Pinkfresh Studio shop site, and you find that stamp set and you click into that product page, you're gonna see a card inspiration for that stamp set that it's been used on several different cards. You can do that with any product that you have from Pinkfresh Studio. There's ideas right there. You can also look through the Pinkfresh Studio YouTube channel and see if you recognize anything. If it's a floral, you may be able to create something similar with a floral element that you already have. Another idea is to make sure that you're following along on Instagram, because there's inspiration there all the time. Okay, so we have these two. You Always Make Me Smile and You Made My Day. And I think I'm going to use this cutie little You Always Make Me Smile. Now, before we went live, I die cut 3 of these in plain white cardstock, and I'm going to stack them up. This is going to give this a little bit of weight on the card, a little bit of dimension. And I just love the look of some stacked up plain die cuts behind a sentiment or an element to really give it some presence on the card. Pinkfresh Studio, Annalise says, Pinkfresh Studio introduced me to the wonderful world of foiling, and I have never looked back so gorgeous. Foiling is definitely one of my favorite techniques. I love, there's nothing, I mean, heat embossing is similar, but it does not give you the shine that hot foiling does. And we have videos here on the Pinkfresh Studio site on foiling. So there's like a hot foil 101 to kind of get you through that. All of that process if you're just learning. So there's a lot of resources on the Pinkfresh Studio YouTube channel that you can tap into to kind of get familiar with these techniques. Kathy Yamashita says, Pinkfresh really does provide tons of inspiration on their products page. Much appreciated by me. Yes, so that's a great place to look for inspiration. Now, this is going to seem weird, but I'm going to take a piece of foam adhesive and run it across the back of my open embroidery hoop. And this is you're going to see why here in just a moment, because I want to nestle that circle inside of there. I want this all on foam, and I just want to be able to hold it inside of there. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to slide this in here, just right into the center of my embroidery hoop and kind of push that all down. Perfect. And then I can add more from the back too. Let's see. Let's get that in there. There we go. And let's do a couple more. It says D Green says she's learned so much from the Pinkfresh Studio YouTube channel. Yep, and we are here to inspire and to educate, and so we're glad that you all are learning as you come here. You're being inspired using the products, maybe products you already have, or maybe learning to do things in a new way. I think that is so wonderful, and I love the community that you all have built here. You are all such a kind audience, and I love creating here, so. We're gonna do this. Let's do some foam adhesive on the back side of our oranges here. Let's see. And I'm just trying to keep up with all of the chatter that's going on. I love connecting with you all in this way. I think that is one of the things that I enjoy the most about creating live, is that we kind of get to connect in a different way. And let's see, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I missed the idea that everybody is chatting about that Kinnery sent over to IT. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I want to know what that is. Okay, so we're gonna do this guy kind of up like this. And we're gonna do this guy. We love you too, Carissa. Right back at you. Thank you, Julie. Okay, so let's do, I kind of want to do more like that. So it doesn't look, I feel like this is a little high. We may need to just, I didn't push that down like super hard so that I could readjust if I needed to. Let's put our pin at the top so that we have this straight. We know how it's going to kind of orient on our card. And bring that down into the side a little bit. Yep, that's better. I like that positioning better. And then I think what we'll do is overlap the sentiment. You always make me smile there on the orange. So we'll do a little bit of foam adhesive. Ann Sieber says, I prefer to stack the words rather than using foam adhesive. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And you're seeing me do a little of both here, which you can totally do. So that stacking is going to make it stick up a little higher than the oranges, even though both of them are on foam adhesive when they are adhered down. Okay. So this is our focal piece, really, for our card. And now we have the elongated lattice. I die cut this ahead of time before we went live, 2 layers, and I stacked it up. I wanted it to have a little bit of dimension, but I didn't need it to have a ton. And so what I'm going to do is just layer it on top. But what I think I want to do before I do that is take a little bit of this summer shower ink and do a little bit of blending on the bottom right corner of this card. So this is kind of, again, a tone on tone ink blending, bringing a little bit of intensity to the bottom of our card base. And then we can add the elongated lattice die cut right over the top. So just giving it a little bit of shading and shadow down there. I'm gonna wipe up this ink so we don't make a mess. See if we like that. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, I love that. Okay, not usually a blue girl, but this is giving me all the feels for the blue. Okay, so let's take some Pinkfresh Studio. Oops, my glue blooped there. It needed to be shaken a little bit. I'm going to take some liquid glue on the back side of this and glue it to my card front. I'm just looking, the other bottle was working better. Let's do that bottle. It happens to all of us. Hold on, good grief. Good grief. Okay, pretty. I think the blog and the Facebook site are great resources to see older products. Yes, Sue, that's a great idea as well. I forget about the Facebook group, but that's a great place too. And within the Facebook group, it's the Pinkfresh Studio fan club. I believe you can search for keywords in there and be able to find like products that have been shared. So that's a great resource as well. Lots of resources for inspiration. You can follow any of the people that are on the Pinkfresh Studio design team. People like Emily Midget and myself and Debbie and Kathleen. We all share things on our personal Instagram and YouTube channels as well. So those are great places to look for inspiration too. Make sure you're following all of your favorite creators and that you have, you know, subscribed and followed them on Instagram. You've turned on the notifications so that you get notifications. So the same things that you're doing here, you can do with the creators that create with Pinkfresh Studio products, and that will give you even more inspiration. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up with my card base. Get it on there. Then I'm going to just hold this down. Maggie said, someone stopped by the office to chat and I just looked up, beautiful card. Like she had missed a few steps, and then when she came back, she was like, whoa, everything changed. I love that so much. Okay, so let's get that down and adhered. And I think I'm just gonna take my Misty and put it over the top for just a second, just to kind of do that. And then, because we're doing like an embroidery theme, I'm gonna take some silver thread. I'm just gonna grab a bunch off. This is DMC Diamant silver thread. And I am just going to wrap it around my fingers several times, kind of create a messy nest of thread, just like that. So you see how messy it is? And I'm going to expose the foam adhesive on the back of my embroidery hoop. Just taking this off. Oh, Carissa said, one more reminder to like this video. It helps us really reach crafters like you. Yes. And she said she also really likes this card, and I am liking it too. So I am so glad that you're loving it. All of you are kind of, I know you tune in and you think Carissa, and we're going to have pink and green, but today we are doing orange and blue, and that makes my heart happy too. Okay. So we have like this thread coming from behind the embroidery hoop, just like that, just kind of this messy, do you see it kind of sticking out? And then we're gonna take this entire thing, we're gonna add it to this kind of lower right-hand corner. And I'm tempted to kind of do it at an angle, although I don't know if I love it at the angle. Nope, I think I'm just gonna do it straight on. So let's do this. A little bit of liquid glue on the back of the foam adhesive. And I know that seems weird because the foam adhesive is already sticky, but we have some areas that's being covered by the thread. And so we want to make sure that we get a like a good adherence down to our card. Oh, don't forget, have you guys been watching Emily's watercolor series live on Fridays? She's been live the last 3 Fridays. Featuring techniques using the Pinkfresh Studio liquid watercolors. I've been catching them on the replay. This week is the last one in the installment, I believe. And I've learned so much, and she's created some really beautiful watercolor projects featuring the Pinkfresh Studio liquid watercolors. So if you're looking for more live streams this week, a little more inspiration, be sure you join Emily live on Friday. Okay, we have that there, and you can just barely see that little bit of silver thread kind of coming out from the back, which I love. Kind of gives you that embroidery feel. And let's finish off with just something sparkly. And I'm thinking maybe these iridescents. Beautiful card, Carissa, says Pauline. Thank you. These are dewdrops iridescent, or we could do butterscotch glitter drops. I think these might be a little more than what I'm going for. I'm just gonna put these up here. I'm gonna try a couple of these and just see what we think. Oh, come on. This is the orange. It's called butterscotch. I don't mind it. Okay, so that's kind of like some butterscotch glitter drops. Love this gorgeous card. Thank you. It's been fun to kind of pull out some older products. Let's try the iridescent. I think these are going to be the ones that I want. Or maybe I want the silver. Maybe. Let's see. These are the iridescent. Kind of hard for you guys to see, but I'm seeing them here in real life. Let's see. Hello. It's right here. Kind of, they're definitely more visible in real life than they are for you on the camera. I'm going to tell you that. And maybe I want the little tiny guy on top of the orange. Oh, I kind of like that. And maybe, is there one more little tiny guy? Oh, you guys are loving this champagne. I wouldn't bring in the champagne only because I have used silver everywhere else. I did bring out the silver metallic, but I don't think I want anything quite that bold. And so I think I just want something to kind of catch the eye just a bit. And I think these iridescent drops are a nice, even the clear drops would be great for this. The ice ones. Hold on. Perfection. Glad you love it. I'm reading comments. I was not tooting my own horn there with the perfection comment. That was somebody's comment above. Just so we're all clear. Okay. Let's take that one off and do this little tiny guy right here. Okay, flip over. There you go. There you go. Okay, yes, that is what I want. So let's take some liquid glue. Yay, we have our winners. Crafty, who is Tracy, and Ann Sieber 3611. You have won a $50 Pinkfresh Studio digital gift card code each. You're going to email customer service at pinkfreshstudio.com. Give them a few days, especially with the holiday. New Year's is coming. We're just a day or two away from that. So give them a couple of days to get that processed and emailed out to you. And happy shopping. Don't forget, we have the weekly promo, which features a couple of these products that I have used in today's card project. So be sure that you check out the weekly promo. That changes every single week, and there's always great deals to be had on Pinkfresh Studio products. So make sure that you are checking that out. These products are 25% off until January 1st at 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So you can grab the framed art and the Always Smiling products at a discount right now over at pinkfreshstudio.com. So you can create some beautiful projects with these. And remember, lots of inspiration over on the Pinkfresh Studio site under the product pages. So if you're looking for more inspiration, make sure that you check there. Do not forget to comment on this video once it ends for your chance to win a gift card. We picked 2 winners from the comments. Yes, that's for those of you watching on replay, but you guys can comment as well. I love this card project, and it looks like a lot of you love this too. And I'm so glad we did something a little different with the oranges and the blues, and I am digging it. Such a fresh and vibrant color combination to take us into the new year. And as I said before, it makes a great masculine color combination. So if you're looking for a masculine color combination to use, go a little deeper with your oranges and a little deeper with your blues, and you have a built-in color combination for a masculine card. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications. Be sure that you join Emily live here on Friday for another watercolor live tutorial, and stay tuned. We have so much coming in the new year. 2026 is going to be a great one. I'm calling it now. I'm Carissa Wiley from sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me here at the Pinkfresh Studio YouTube channel. And until next time, I hope you have a happy new year and a fabulous day.